What's up guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Emma if you're new here, and I love to talk about all things Peloton cycling and fitness. So be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. I post every single Sunday. And today's video, I am excited, but I'm also extremely nervous because I am going to be taking my first in-studio Pilates reformer class. So I've taken not a ton of Pilates content on Peloton, but a decent amount that I'm pretty comfortable with Pilates mat on Peloton. And I feel like Pilates is really having a moment right now. I feel like it's always been popular, but especially now, I don't know if it's just my TikTok algorithm, but it seems like everybody is starting to go to Pilates. And it does interest me. It just also scares me because it looks very hard. And with the reformer machine, that is intimidating. I've never taken a Pilates class in studio, so I only have really learned from Peloton. I have taken solid core and I made a video about that, and that was extremely hard, but I know that people don't consider that Pilates. So I'm very interested to see what the differences are and what it's like. And I honestly just hope that this class that I'm taking is welcoming, because although I consider myself not a beginner at fitness, I'm definitely a beginner at Pilates. So it is Monday morning right now. I have off today because it's right before the new year, and I figured now would be a great time to go. So we're going to be going to Power Pilates in Manhattan, and I'm taking a reformer class. The description is, you will elevate your skills by moving beyond the basics in this class by incorporating overhead movements, continued learning of exercise names and setups. So that sounds good, continued learning. This class is not for the faint of heart. Enjoy the challenge. Training level, intermediate, difficulty, medium. So I'm definitely going to show up early, let them know that I've never taken a class before. I do have some grippy socks, which I think are important. And yeah, I'm hoping that the instructor can accommodate. I did book this on ClassPass, and I do feel like if they are on ClassPass, they should kind of expect beginners to Pilates, especially around the new year. I feel like a lot of people can make New Year's resolutions to start Pilates, but I'm not only nervous about not knowing all of the moves, I'm nervous about how hard it's going to be. I think it will be a very good core workout, but I am interested. This has been on my list of things to try out for a while now. So, new year, no excuses. I am very interested. So let's go to the studio and try out Pilates on a reformer machine for the first time. That was such a small class. There was only 3 students in it, which was good. I did like it. I feel like my posture is better. I feel like I'm standing straighter, but we're gonna go home and then I will recap. I have many thoughts, but overall, I really enjoyed that class. I'm definitely not good at Pilates, but I could see where I could improve in the future. And yeah, I definitely like this format of workout class compared to solid core. I just felt like this was so much more intentional. This studio is very classical Pilates, so there was no even music during this class to distract you. You were just listening to the instructor, which I appreciated as someone that's new to reformer Pilates. I just want to focus on the instructor. Also, there was only 3 people in my class, which I mentioned before. That was definitely a smaller class size than I thought. There was only 5 reformer machines, so even if everyone was there, only 5 people is still a very small class size. So I like that too, because you get a lot more individual attention. I think I'll try to talk about my individual experience, which is definitely more custom to whatever studio you go to. And then I'm going to get into what I think the pros and cons are based on one class and any other tips that I have. So I got to the studio 15 minutes early because I was new to this, and they really did not seem to care that I was new. I mean, they had a form to fill out, but that was mostly because I was new to the studio. And I did not do anything until the class started because I'm so new. I don't even know can I sit on these reformer machines? Like, I don't want to do anything. The other two people in the class got there like right at 10, right at the start of class. And then, yeah, the instructor talked to us really briefly. One thing that I thought was odd was the instructor did not ask like what anybody's skill level was or comfortability. And I kind of offered up that I had never been on a reformer's machine before just because I was worried about like even potentially hurting myself. I mean, these machines are scary, you know, you have like the slidey carriage and then you have all these springs. Like, I really wanted to make it clear that I was new. And yeah, she did not seem concerned at all that I was new. Like, she's like, that's fine. We got onto the machines and yeah, I mean, there's basically just a bunch of different sections of exercises that you do, which I personally like because a lot of it is core focused. So you are going to need like recovery in between things. The reformer machine itself basically has like a slidey middle part that they call the carriage. And then there's a foot bar where, you know, you can put your feet on. There are shoulder pads to kind of get you into like good formation. So I found it like pretty easy to use. I thought it was pretty intuitive, but at the same time, I would highly, highly recommend having some Pilates mat experience before going to reformers, unless if you like know the studio and know that you're going into like a super beginner's class. But we did things like the 100s, which are popular in Peloton Pilates classes. I'm assuming that's a pretty popular Pilates move in general, where you essentially like pulse your arms, but that is already a hard move just on the mat. So I'm glad that I have done that a lot on the mat before even attempting it on the machine, and just kind of like being more familiar with the language. I definitely think that you would benefit from doing Pilates mat classes first, even though those are definitely like not as exciting. And like, in my opinion, if I'm going to go into a studio, I want to use this equipment that I don't have at home versus like a Pilates mat class in the studio. But there is a ton of, you know, Peloton content that you can do Pilates, and there's also just content on YouTube that you could like be more familiar with that before just going cold into a reformer's class. I do think that the instructor would help you. Like, she definitely helped me a lot, and it helped everyone in our class get better form. But yeah, I do think Pilates mat experience is very helpful. So we just did, you know, a lot of like sliding things where you were using your arms, using your legs to slide yourself around, which was really just like activating the core. My biggest complaint at the beginning of the class was that we were doing a lot of things on our backs, and in between every move, she was like, oh, like basically go into a ball on your back where your knees are pulled in. And that is like a little bit of recovery, but that still definitely activates my core. So I feel like I wasn't really taking any recovery. And then I started feeling a cramp, and I usually don't cramp. So I don't know if this was just unlucky or if it was related to Pilates, but then probably like 15 minutes in, I was like, okay, when she says to like go with this ball format, like I just have to put my legs down. Like, I am a beginner at Pilates. I can like not take breaks for the 50 minutes. And other people in my class were also just like taking breaks as needed. And once I started doing that, I liked the class a lot more and like felt like it was a lot more manageable. So obviously I could see myself improve in the future and like work up to not taking breaks. But for now, I'm glad that I worked the breaks in, because otherwise I don't know what it would have been like at the end. We also did things like hip bridges. We did a little bit of plank work, but honestly, not as much as I thought I would. But pretty much every single movement activates the core. And then right at the end, we did like a 2-minute stretch out. And we did some T-spine rotations as well, which felt really good. Once the class was over, it was pretty much like you can go. There were showers at my studio. I think one of the biggest pros, which we'll get into, is that I was not sweaty at all. I definitely felt like it was a really good workout. Like, I think that I will be sore tomorrow. I can feel it in my core. I walked out, I felt like I already had like better posture, which I definitely have very bad posture. So that felt really good. But at the same time, like, your heart rate is never going crazy. And yeah, even me, a very sweaty person, did not get sweaty. So I feel like I can see a huge benefit in doing that. And I understand why people like Pilates so much. But at the end, there were showers. Like, I didn't need a shower. You could pretty much just go. And yeah, now we'll get into like the other pros. Besides having to not shower, kind of going hand in hand, it is a very low impact workout. So I definitely could see being able to do this workout like not 7 days a week, but maybe like 4 to 5 times a week and really see gains. Like you're definitely doing strengthening exercises without the drawback of it being like super, super high impact on your body, especially because I mostly do running and strength training. Like those are both very high impact workouts on the body. I can see the benefits of Pilates. Another pro is that it does focus on things that like I don't focus on in my other workouts, like posture, like core. And I like that we cycle through all the moves like fairly quickly. Like you're never going to spend, at least in this class, more than like 2 to 3 minutes on kind of a section where you're doing similar moves and then you're onto something else. I personally like that because some sections I don't like and then we go through them fast and it kind of keeps the class moving and it goes by really quickly. This class was 55 minutes long, which I think is kind of long for an in-studio class. And like it flew by. I could have stayed there for another 55 minutes and kept doing exercises, but it was a good length, good workout, passed by quickly in my opinion. Feels nice, like I still have energy for the rest of my day, definitely low impact. I think the biggest con is that I would want to do this like 5 times a week, but the price of that would be very, very expensive. I do know you can get a like at-home reformer. I'm not saying that that's something that's on my 2025 bingo card, but I would definitely be interested in that, you know, in the future. But I feel like I would have to go to more Pilates classes and like make sure that I really, really wanted to commit. And in the meantime, the Pilates classes are like quite expensive to go so frequently. A lot of studios have unlimited packages, and in New York City, those are incredibly expensive. They're like, you know, $300 to $400 a month. But if you are going frequently, I could see that making it like a little bit more cheaper. And then, yeah, the other con is that there's just like no at-home practice unless if you're going to invest a lot of money. There are the Pilates mat classes, but I do feel like the reformer does add something special. Like having that machine, you can do a lot of interesting moves that you just can't do on the mat. So I feel like those are the two biggest cons of Pilates, but I do think that there's a lot of good pros as well. And yeah, I think that's pretty much my opinion on reformer Pilates. Is it something I'm going to start doing 5 times a week? Probably not, but I would love to work it into my schedule more often, do more Pilates mat classes. And then, yeah, I think ideally I would love to go to a reformers class like once a week. We'll see. I already have so many other enjoyable things that I like to do to work out. So it like is hard to fit everything that I want to do in a week into a schedule. But Pilates has definitely caught my eye. So let me know if you take Reformers Pilates. If so, how often do you take it? Did your experience sound similar? And what studios you like, especially if you are in New York? And also let me know if you've ever taken a Towers Pilates class, because to my understanding, that is a different machine, but I would be interested in learning about that as well. I feel like I would really love to like kind of get a better understanding of Pilates in this year. That is it for this video. I hope you guys are staying safe, having an awesome week, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.